Welcome back everybody to Zlatan's Fight Picks. Today we will be going over the fight card for UFC 322, Maddalena vs Makhachev. November 15th in New York City. As usual, we will be going over the fights from the first fight to the main event. So let's start. Fight got added just at the last minute here. Vicheslav Borshchev versus Matias Camilo. Vicheslav Borshchev 5'11", 69-inch reach, 8 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 33 years old. Matias Camilo 5'10", 69-inch reach, 9 wins, 3 losses, 24 years old. Really went back and forth in this one. Consider it kind of like a 50-50 fight. Camilo was preparing for a fight. Borshchev got thrown into it the last minute. He's probably still in shape. Camilo was supposed to fight 3 weeks ago, so he's probably still in shape. Both tough guys, you know. I kind of went back and forth on this one. I'm going to go with Camilo. He's 24 years old. I think from the last time we saw him to this time that we saw him, he's going to make improvements. I think he's well-rounded. I think he's got a decent ground game. I think he's tough. I think Borshchev is tough. And then I don't think Borshchev is going to submit him. I don't think Camilo is going to submit Borshchev. I think this is going to go down to a decision. And I think between maybe a takedown or two, I think Camilo is going to win that decision. Otherwise, it's going to be a very entertaining fight. And of course, the favorite is Camilo on this one. But like I said, it's virtually a 50-50 fight as far as I'm concerned. But the pick will be Camilo. Next fight, Baisangur Susurkaev versus Erin. McConico. Susurkaev, 6'2", 79-inch reach, 10 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 24 years old. McConico, 6 feet tall, 77-inch reach, 10 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 35 years old. Susurkaev, I saw him fight. You know what? He's strong, he's aggressive, he's exciting. I'm not really impressed with him. 10-0, he's 24 years old. He is going to be improving every time he steps in the ring, but he's just a little too arrogant. And when he gets up to the higher level competitions, he's going to get hurt. And I don't know if he's going to get past the mid-level competition. McConico, very low-level guy. I mean, they're setting this guy up, Susurkaev, to win this fight. So, but there's still McConico. He's not a bad striker, but I just don't think he's going to be able to absorb the punishment that Susurkaev is going to deal out. And Susurkaev is going to put a lot of pressure on him and end up getting the knockout. But McConico, I mean, there is a world where he stays away and outpoints Susurkaev and possibly hurts Susurkaev because Susurkaev takes a lot of shots and takes a lot of unnecessary risk. But Susurkaev does have a ground game too. So the pick's going to be Susurkaev. I mean, he's a massive favorite. He's at minus 1,000. I don't even have it here. But, yeah. But I'm not impressed. Susurkaev is going to be the pick. Next fight, Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. Angela Hill, 5'3", 64.5-inch reach, 18 wins, 15 losses, 40 years old. Fatima Klein, 5'6", 67.5-inch reach, 8 wins, 1 loss, 25 years old. Fatima Klein, I think she's fighting somewhat in her hometown, so it's, you know, a big red flag for me because they want Klein to win here. She's going to have a 3-inch height advantage, 3-inch reach advantage. I think Klein's a decent fighter. I don't think she's phenomenal. I think her using her height and reach advantage is going to be a big part of this. But having gone back and forth and, you know, she's a minus 425 favorite. Who has she really fought? Angela Hill fought everybody. But she's 40 years old. I mean, what do you do at plus 310? 40 years old. She's the better mixed martial artist, but she's going to be smaller, but she's also going to be older. So, I mean, it's going to go down to a decision. She's not submitting Angela Hill. She's not knocking out Angela Hill. This is going to be a decision fight. I got to go with Angela Hill. I mean, plus 310. I know she's 40. You know, if she wasn't 40, then I would say maybe. But you know what? She hasn't slowed down that much. And Fatima Klein's 25 years old. She could be coming back with huge improvements on top of that. And she is going to be bigger. Tempted to take Klein, but, you know, I'm going to go for the dog shot here in a decision victory for Hill. Split decision victory for Hill. I think I made this call one time, split decision for somebody, and they end up getting dominated. Which fight was that? Oh, that was Tisha Torres. But as far as I saw, that Gomes was way more credentialed and proven than Klein is at the moment. So I'm going to go with Hill. Pat Sabatini versus Chepe Mariscal. Pat Sabatini, 5'8", 70-inch reach, 20 wins, 5 losses, 34 years old. Chepe Mariscal, 5'7", 69-inch reach, 18 wins, 6 losses, 33 years old. These guys fought before, and split decision, Mariscal won it. And it was a really close fight. Sabatini seems like he's put on a lot more mass, going to be more powerful. He is going to be the local favorite. I think he's from Philadelphia. I've never been a fan of Sabatini. I just don't like his style. I think it's just boring and it's grinding and I just don't like it. Mariscal is very exciting. I mean, so I'm biased towards Mariscal, not to mention the fact that I've won a lot of money with Mariscal. He seems always to pull it off. But in this case, you know, Sabatini is going to be a local favorite. He's going to be the bigger guy, hopefully made enough improvements to beat Mariscal. But even though this, having said that, I'm still going to go with the dog. I'm still going to bet Mariscal to pull it off one more time against Sabatini. It's a high risk bet. Even, you know, like Sabatini has got that style where he just wins decisions. You know, he's going to lie on top of you. And he's getting better at it. But Mariscal, you know, did beat him one time, and I think it's going to be a close fight. And I'm going to go with the guy I enjoy watching fight, unfortunately. So take it for what it's worth. I'm going to go for Mariscal with the dog shot on this one. I think having said that, I don't want to say that Mariscal is just a dog shot. He can fight on the ground. He can get off when he's on his back. You know, and he can strike from the outside, and he's very fast. So, I mean, there's a lot to like. But Sabatini is a lot bigger than he fought him last time, which is the only thing that really concerns me. So, otherwise, I'm going to go with Mariscal. Carl Daukaus versus Gerald Meerschaert. Carl Daukaus, 6'3", 76-inch reach, 16 wins, 4 losses, 32 years old. Meerschaert, 6'1", 77-inch reach, 37, 20, and 30. And he's 37 years old. Never was really impressed with Carl Daukaus, but the last fight, he looks like he really improved on his striking, and he knocked out a guy who I thought was pretty good. Meerschaert, I mean, who knows with this guy? He's the hardest guy I have to predict to win. Sometimes he gets beaten really badly. Sometimes he wins phenomenally. But I'm going to go with Daukaus. You know, younger, hungrier, came back, improved his skills. Meerschaert's just, I don't know. Not impressed with him, but like I said, I've never been able to bet this guy right. But Daukaus is going to be the pick. He should be able to knock Meerschaert out. Moving on to the prelims. Those are the early prelims. We had a change just recently, actually, just like yesterday, I think. Malcolm Wellmaker is fighting Ethan Ewing instead of Cody Haddon. So, Wellmaker, 5'10", 71-inch reach, 10 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 31 years old. Ethan Ewing, 5'8", no reach, 8 wins, 2 losses, 27 years old. Both of these guys are champions in their own leagues. Wellmaker did look really good against somebody I thought was decent, which was Simon. Even I don't think he's in the UFC, but you know, he was not a bad young fighter, and he fought really well against Christian Rodriguez. He made a good account of himself, and Wellmaker took him out. But having said that, if you look at the fight, Wellmaker also got hit more than he was hitting, but Wellmaker is a high precision striker, lots of power, doesn't throw as much, but he makes the best of it. He's got a lot of power. He seems like he can take a lot of shots. Ethan Ewing, you know, he had lost 2 fights, 1 decision and 1 submission. Never been knocked out. Both of them never been knocked out. And he's coming in. He fought last week. So he's in shape. He's ready to fight. It's going to be a really good fight, actually. You know, I want to go with the dog on this one just because of all the unknowns. But, you know, I'm going to pick Wellmaker to win. And both of them haven't been knocked out. This could either be in a KO, or this could very well go to the decision and surprise everybody. So I'm expecting it to go to KO, but I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up going to a decision, which is, fight goes the distance kind of bet. But Wellmaker, I'm going to pick him. He did look good. He's got a great check right hook. As they're coming in, he's very powerful. Seems like he catches everybody with it. Ewing, pretty well-rounded. Both of them are well-rounded. This is going to be a really good fight. I think Ewing is being severely underrated at plus 375. He could be the dark horse in this one. But I'm going to pick Wellmaker because he should win this fight. But it's a very up in the air type of fight where things can happen here and we can get surprised. But having said that, everyone's expecting a KO. KO should happen, but there's a high probability with these guys being able to take such a good shot that a KO might not happen, and the bet might be better to go the distance. That's just my 2 cents. Moving on, Erin Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Erin Blanchfield, 5'4", 66-inch reach, 13 wins, 2 losses, 26 years old. Tracy Cortez, 5'5", 65.5-inch reach, 12 wins, 2 losses, 31 years old. I used to always call Erin Blanchfield Chesterfield. But you know what? She kind of won me over. And I think that she's the favorite for a reason. I think Tracy Cortez is good. She's decent. And I don't think she's championship material. I don't think she's top 3, but kind of deal, right? I think that she's going to be in the top 10. She's going to be a little bit taller. She's got good, decent striking, really good on the ground. But Erin Blanchfield, she's a dog. She's got lots of cardio and she's good on the ground as well. And her striking is really improving. She's really young. Blanchfield's going to be the pick for a decision victory. I don't think she's going to sub her. It's going to be quite hard. Roman Kapyłov versus Gregory Rodriguez. Roman Kapyłov, 6 feet tall, 75-inch reach, 14 wins, 4 losses, 34 years old. Gregory Rodriguez, 6'3", 75-inch reach, 17 wins, 6 losses, 33 years old. Went back and forth on this one. I didn't like the way Roman Kapyłov looked the last time he fought. Who did he fight? Costa. Costa was way faster than him. Kapyłov just wasn't as fast as we normally see him. Rodriguez is not that fast, but he beat Christian Rodriguez. I just kind of overpowered Christian Rodriguez, and Christian Rodriguez just couldn't keep him off him. And this is exactly what I'm thinking is going to happen with Kapyłov. But Kapyłov does have a tendency to skirt around the outside and pick his shots. Now it depends if he's going to be faster than Rodriguez, which I'm expecting him to be faster than Rodriguez. And both of them tend to fade as the fight goes on. They have a better first round than the last round. Rodriguez is going to be way bigger in there. But here's the thing is Rodriguez has been chin checked before, so he can get knocked out. So there is a world where Kapyłov wins this fight by knockout. Rodriguez should win it though. If he takes him to the ground, he's got enough experience on the ground. He's good on the ground. He can win this fight by decision. He can win it by KO, but I think Kapyłov will stay away enough not to get KO'd and survive on the ground enough not to get KO'd. But but KO or sub could be a good bet for Rodriguez as well. Went back and forth. I'm going to go with Rodriguez because he's the bigger guy. He can take him to the ground. He can win by KO. He can win by sub. He can win by decision. Kapyłov, seeing how much slower he was than Costa, I don't know how much faster he's going to be than Rodriguez. But having said that, Rodriguez, when he was fighting an older Hermansson was winning that fight on strikes before he got caught and KO'd. Up to that point, Hermansson was winning that fight. So, you got Kapyłov staying on the outside and possibly winning this on strikes and the decision victory, or head kicking him and knocking him out. So it could go many ways, Pick is going to be Rodriguez. But, you know, the dog shot on Kapyłov does seem possible. But Rodriguez is going to be the pick. In the world that we live in, that should happen, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Rodriguez is going to be the pick. Do I think he's going to KO or sub him? Yeah, I think a KO or sub could be in order. Probably KO. So KO Rodriguez, yeah, and decision Kapyłov. So take your poison, but Rodriguez is going to be the pick. Moving on, Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. Nickel, 6'1", 76-inch reach, 7 wins, 1 loss, 29 years old. Rodolfo Vieira, 6 feet tall, 73-inch reach, 11 wins, 3 losses, 36 years old. I think Rodolfo Vieira is not going to be able to take Bo down. I don't think Bo's really big for the division. I think Vieira, he's a little short, but he's really thick, but he's going to be a little slower. He does have a good jab. Nickel has a pretty good jab as well. I think this is going to go down to a decision victory. I think Nickel's going to win this. I think they're just going to set this up for Nickel to win it. So, and 36 years old for Vieira. I mean, I like the guy, but he has a way of messing things up and losing decisions. So I think that's going to be the case here. Moving on to the main card. Benil Dariush versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Benil Dariush, 5'10", 72-inch reach, 23 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 36 years old. Benoit Saint-Denis, 5'11", 73-inch reach, 15 wins, 3 losses, 29 years old. Went back and forth on this one. You know, Benoit Saint-Denis is the favorite. I'm going to go with the underdog, Benil. I think he has fought high-level competition. He's beaten high-level competition, and I think he's really good on the ground. And I think he can take Saint-Denis to the ground. I think he's going to have a tricky style on the outside as well. Yeah, I like Benil in this spot, and I like Saint-Denis, but you know, he's more like a brute force type of guy. So looking at Benil, he's 36 years old. He's kind of at the tail end of his career, you know. And that's the only issue I would have. But he did beat Moicano. Moicano did beat Saint-Denis. I mean, you want to do MMA math. I think Dariush is going to win this one by a decision by taking him to the ground. Moving on. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Leon Edwards, 6'2", 74-inch reach, 22 wins, 5 losses, 34 years old. Carlos Prates, 6'1", 78-inch reach, 22 wins, 7 losses, 32 years old. Leon Edwards, you know, I mean, if you look at it, he's a striker. He's fought a lot of wrestlers. He's actually really improved his wrestling and his takedown defense. And he's always wanted to fight like more of a striker. And now he's got a full striker who's very dangerous. And Prates is going to be the favorite. He's got a longer reach. He's going to be not taller, but longer reach. 32 years old. He's going to have a little bit more volume, you know, creative. But, you know, here's the thing is Leon Edwards is no slouch. And I think his problem is more of a mental game. He just needs to, like, mentally be there and aggressive and win these rounds. And I think that Prates, I don't think he takes a really good shot. Like, I think when he gets hit, he gets tentative. And you saw that when he fought, who did he fight? Machado Gary, you know? And I think we're going to see, you know, a very smart fight from Edwards, you know, strikes from the outside, precision strikes, possible takedowns. And I think he's going to pull a Machado Gary on him and just outstrike him. Leon Edwards is the underdog. I don't think he looked good at all last time. Yeah, you know, I got to go with Edwards. It's just, I see something in Prates that when he's dominant, he'll dominate. But if he's not dominant, you know, and he gets tagged a little bit, I find him hesitating, and I think Edwards is going to tag him a couple times, and I think you're going to see Prates slow down. Moving on, Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Sean Brady, 5'10", 72 inch reach, 18 wins, 1 loss, 32 years old. Michael Morales, 6 feet tall, 79 inch reach, 18 wins, 0 losses, 26 years old. Michael Morales, 26 years old. Look at this guy. He's huge. He's got a huge reach advantage. He's strong. He's powerful. I've never been a big fan of Sean Brady anyway, although he did make huge improvements and he beat Edwards last time and he beat him handily, and Edwards just didn't look like Edwards in there. Like, he just didn't look good at all. And Sean Brady's shorter, he's stocky, he's very powerful. But all I see is Bilal Muhammad knocking him out. And this is exactly what I think is going to happen. I think Morales is going to knock him out when he fights off the takedowns and gets back up. I think Morales is going to knock him out. So Morales is the underdog. I'm going to pick him for the upset, probably by KO. Could go to a decision, but there's a high probability that he KOs Brady. And Brady is a local favorite because I think he fights out of Philadelphia or something. I'm not a big fan of Philadelphia fighters. I don't know why. So they're all the same. Like, I'm going to take you to the ground and lie on top of you. I don't like that. I don't know why. Morales is going to be the pick underdog to knock this guy out. Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. Valentina Shevchenko, 5'5", 66.5 inch reach, 37 years old, 25 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. Zhang Weili, 5'4", 63 inch reach, 26 wins, 3 losses, 36 years old. Both of them are in their 30s. I think Shevchenko has slowed down a little more than Weili. I think she slowed down a little bit. She just seems a little older. But she keeps winning. And now Weili's moving up. Now Weili's going to be faster. Shevchenko, is she going to be able to compensate her accuracy to overcome that speed and possibly big enough to control Weili on the ground? And that's going to be the pick, the big question. Zhang Weili is the underdog. I could see why she's the underdog. She is moving up in weight. I'm a fan of Shevchenko. It's going to be a really good fight. Close fight. I got to go with Shevchenko. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I think she's going to be big. And as long as she's not too outclassed with the speed and she gets a hold of Weili, I think she'll be able to grind out a decision. So Shevchenko's going to be the pick. Jack Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Maddalena, 5'11", 73 inch reach, 18 wins, 2 losses, 29 years old. Islam Makhachev, 5'10", 70.5 inch reach, 21 wins, 1 loss, 34 years old. There's an argument to be made that Maddalena didn't even win the decision against Bilal, with the wrestling. And I was surprised at how good Maddalena looked with his defensive wrestling and how bad Bilal looked with his wrestling. I don't think Makhachev's going to look that bad with his wrestling. I think he's not going to have the size advantage which he's had at 155 with the striking, and he's been able to dominate both levels of it. So he's got to be careful with Maddalena's striking because he's not going to have the reach advantage or the height advantage. But he has got amazing wrestling, and Bilal almost beat Maddalena, and Bilal is same 1 inch taller than Makhachev. Makhachev is the favorite, but at 34 years old, he's still on top of his game. Maddalena's had a lot of close fights. I got to go with Makhachev on this one, and I don't know if Maddalena's the real deal. I think Makhachev is the real deal. I think him going up in weight is very interesting. But having said that, going from 155 to 170 is still a pretty big jump for that weight class. So I can see why people want to go with Maddalena, but I think Makhachev is going to grind out this victory here to a decision. All right. What do I think as far as like Makhachev by decision, Shevchenko by decision, Morales by KO, possibly decision, but probably KO. Leon Edwards decision. Benil Dariush decision or sub. Probably decision. Bo Nickel, decision. Gregory Rodriguez, probably KO. Erin Blanchfield, decision. Wellmaker versus Ewing. I think KO is the probability, but Wellmaker by decision is a really good bet because I think the odds are going to be huge and I think it might end up going because Wellmaker has gone to many decisions. Like, he just hasn't fought the high level. As you get to the higher level, it's harder and harder to knock these guys out. Daukaus by KO, Morales by decision. Chepe Mariscal by decision. Angela Hill by decision. Susurkaev by KO. And Camilo by decision. There's a lot of decisions, and I'm not saying it's correct, but sometimes you just can't see the victory. And a lot of times when these victories do happen, it takes everybody by surprise. It's like, whoa, I didn't see that one coming. So, anything can happen, right? And again, not financial advice. Do your own research, take what I've said and compare it to what you're thinking and possibly make some good bets with that. Also, make some good parlays, hopefully. Otherwise, what else? Hit like if you like the content. I'm trying to do the main events at least on this podcast and hopefully at some point have more time to do more. Subscribe if you want to get notified when I do put out material. Otherwise, good luck on the bets, guys, and we will see you next time.